Over the last 2 years, I've been building SONNYS GTI from the game Need for Speed Most Wanted. And as you can see, we're so close to completing this thing, but we've got one more thing to do, and that's to put the cherry on top. When I say the cherry on top, of course, I mean the roof scoop. So I've already gone ahead and created this base layer just so it matches the contour of the roof. So let me show you how I've got it to this stage. Firstly, I cleaned and marked out the area where the roof scoop is going to sit. Once I did that, I then started fiberglassing over the top of that area to create the base of the scoop. And getting this part perfect is crucial. It determines how the rest of it is going to look.
I need your pink slip.
A lot of the cars in Need for Speed had these scoops, and it's what gives them their iconic image. So I can't mess this up, but if I do the little things right, the big stuff should take care of itself. In Need for Speed Most Wanted, roof scoops were kind of like Marmite. You either loved the things or you hated them, but I'll explain later on in this video why they are so important in real world scenarios. So back to making the base layer for this scoop. All I've done was put another layer of fiberglass on and then I cut it out. So now you're all caught up with how I've made that monstrosity. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. I still need the proper tools to do it, but we're ready to move on to the next step, and that involves taking my sander and knocking down the top layer of this fiberglass, mainly because it's really sharp and also because I need some masking tape to stick to the top of it. I've created this template using the masking tape to now transfer this onto a piece of perspex that I've got over there. So the idea behind the perspex, it's going to be a nice solid flat piece that I can start building the second layer of the roof scoop on. I may have got a little bit carried away and already gone ahead and put the fiberglass filler underneath the perspex. Each one of these corners is 15mm high, which is exactly what I was after. So that means we can start making the top layer of the roof scoop, and we can also peel this off. There's the base plate all off and ready to be smoothed down. Hopefully we can get this thing shaped off the car and then build it up away from the roof, just because there's a little bit of a clearance issue here if you haven't noticed. You can probably see there's more masking tape on here. Basically it wasn't symmetrical, so I've had to go over it again, mask it all off and measure it all out. I've done my best to tidy it all up, and I'm not going to lie, it's perfect at the moment. The next step is to take some more masking tape, go over all of this again, and then we can start building the second layer. There we have it, I've masked everything off and we're ready to start building that second layer. So how I'm going to approach that is by using little cardboard cutouts, building them up, gluing them all together, and then fiberglassing over the top of it once I'm happy with it. I've already gone ahead and made some little cardboard pieces, so we're going to get these glued in place and we'll see how it looks. This video has temporarily turned into an arts and crafts lesson, just like the ones that you used to have in school. So I've basically took images of SONNYS GTI roof scoop, scaled them down on my phone and took measurements off it. And doing it this way, it's kind of foolproof because this is how I've built the rest of the car. So it's a new day, all the cardboard templates are stuck together and it's starting to look a little bit more like a roof scoop. It is, however, lifting just on this corner right here, but I can sort that straight away with a little bit of fiberglass filler. So I've got to go around all the edges, because if you look closely, there's a little bit of a lip, and I've done that intentionally just so I can build it out to the edge of this base. And then the next step from when we fiberglass filled it, we can start making a mold then, obviously once everything else is smoothed off on it. So let's not waste any more time, let's get the fiberglass filler on here and see how it looks. The fiberglass filler is definitely the best option. It's going to provide it with a lot of strength and it will stop the cardboard from flexing. There we have it, I've given the fiberglass filler plenty of time to go off. The next thing I should be doing is sanding this down and getting it ready for the body filler, but I've got something way more important to show you. The guy that's doing the 3D mesh for this body kit has already reassured me and said that the body kit scans are perfect, but I'm not 100% and it's going to really pain me to smash this up to get to fixing points that are underneath here. And the reason I need to get to those fixing points is because we need to know how this bumper is going to mount. So you know what that means, we're going to have to 3D scan behind this bumper. So let's get this thing off. Just giving it a good old So now we've got the bumper off the car, we can start trimming the unnecessary parts that we're not going to be 3D printing. After giving the inside of the bumper a general clean, I can then start putting the tracking dots all over it. So these tracking dots are used so that the 3D scanner can follow it really easy, especially on smooth surfaces like this. And now that all the dots are on, we can finally start 3D scanning. So just like in my last videos, I've been using the Einstar Vega 3D scanner, and I've got to say I'm still amazed by what this thing is capable of doing. Now that we've got the all-important scan out of the way, I think it's time we get back to what this video is about, and that's the roof scoop. I've stopped filling this for just one moment because I've had a little bit of an epiphany. So when I come to create the mould for this roof scoop, I've quickly realised that I should have ideally filled this front end in. Having these holes at the front and at the back are going to cause a little bit of a drama when creating the mould. And also it does make more sense cutting these holes out afterwards. I wish I realised it sooner, but I'm happy I've realised it now because I can rectify it before I carry on. After what feels like forever, I'm finally done with it. All the filling's finished now. I've just got to go around these edges, round them off, so it's going to be nice and easy when it comes to making that fiberglass mould. If you have any sharp points that are inside the mould, like these corners for instance, it's going to be a bit difficult to do, and it's also a brittle point for the fiberglass as well. The rounder you can get them, the easier it is for the fiberglass strands to get into. So we're going to get all these edges rounded off, and also underneath it's a little bit messy. We are going to have to trim about 1 inch all the way around the perimeter of this, just so we can glue it to the roof of the car. It's going to make a really good fixing point, but I still need to sand all of this filler down, and then I'm going to 3D scan it as well. Just because it's going to be nice to have a 3D copy of this in case anything goes wrong with the molds. I can always fall back and use the 3D scan that I've got. So let's get this thing prepped, and hopefully it turns out all right. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on why I want to 3D scan it, because in its current form at the moment it looks perfect, but I can guarantee you there is definitely some imperfections that are in this. You might not pick them up by eye, but digitally you'll definitely be able to see them. So if I can scan it, I can then have a look on the computer and see if there is any imperfections and see if it is perfectly symmetrical as well, because if one side sits a little bit lower than the other, or one side slightly shorter than the other, you're going to see it when it's on the car. So I need to make sure everything's perfect before I do go ahead and make any molds out of this thing. There we have it. I've sanded it down and I've also cleaned it, so now we're ready to put the primer on. I've decided to go with filler primer on this because if there's any little dinks or imperfections in this, the filler primer should get it, and when we sand over it, it should be nice and flat. So that's what I'm going with. We're going to get this on right now and see how it looks once I've done that. So if you remember earlier on in the video, I said I'd show you why roof scoops are really important, and this seems like a better time than ever, unless of course you're happy to sit there and watch paint dry. Yeah, that don't sound fun, does it? So when you think about cars with roof scoops, what cars come to mind? There's only one in my opinion, and that's the rally car. As you probably already know, these cars are stripped of everything that isn't needed, because on a rally course, added weight is added time. One of the things that needs to go is the aircon system, because it draws so much power from the engine even when it's not being used, and that can drastically affect performance on these cars. So to stop the driver from sweating to death, there needed to be some sort of alternative cooling method, and here's where the roof scoop comes into play. When the car's driving, air passes over the top of the roof and gets caught by the scoop, forcing cool air into the cockpit and cooling down the driver while the car maintains its maximum performance. That being said, I don't really understand why neither speed cars have them, because they all seem to have standard interior apart from the M3 GTR, but even then, that car doesn't have a roof scoop, so I'm a little bit confused with EA's decisions when they design these cars. Personally, I love the look of roof scoops on Need for Speed cars, and I'd like to hear your opinion on them as well, so make sure to leave a comment on this video and let me know if you love them or you hate them. So hopefully I've helped you learn a thing or two about roof scoops and why they're so important. The next step with this one, however, is to get these little dots scattered randomly all over this thing, so then we can use the 3D scanner. These basically are just little tracking dots, because when you've got flat surfaces like this, it can confuse the 3D scanner, and these just help keep it up to date with where everything is. So we're going to get these things stuck all over it, and we'll see how it looks after that. There we have it. I've put all the little stickers on, and now it's time to get 3D scanning. So while I was scanning this, I came across one little issue. The scanner kept jumping about and it couldn't find the tracking markers for some reason, and then I quickly realised what the problem was. So you've probably noticed a few things have changed with the roof scoop while I was scanning it. These dots have got a little bit bigger, and I've also put a few markings on top of the roof scoop. I've had to do that because the scanner wasn't picking it up in the HD setting. So the HD setting's for smaller objects with more detail, whereas this is quite a fairly medium-sized object and it's not got a lot of detail. So I've had to pinch some of the bigger dots off the body kit and the bonnet and try and put it on this and make it work. And it only took me about 2 minutes to do the whole scan, whereas I probably spent about an hour with the HD setting because it just wasn't working. But we've got it done now. The scan's ready to look at, so I'll show you that. So here's the mesh that I've created from that scan. By no means it's not perfect, but it's good enough if I ever have to fall back on this and rely on the 3D scan. You can notice here there's a couple little holes, and that's just the stickers where the scanner hasn't picked it up, but it's very easy to fill those in. And yet it looks a little bit rough at the back, and that's not my work before anyone says anything. It's just the scanner's not picking it up because it was in the fast setting. So all of this stuff can be fixed in CAD, so I'm not too fussed about it. To be fair, it's not too bad. I can get a better attempt off camera, so I might do that, but for now I'm quite happy with this. Finally, after all the time I've spent on this and 3D scanning it, we're now ready to put it on top of the car. So let's see how it looks. Unfortunately guys, that is the end of the video. I'm not too sure what I'm going to be doing in the next episode, just because this body kit is so close to being 3D printed. It might be about that, or if it's not, we can definitely carry on with the roof scoop, make the mold out of it, and then make a fiberglass copy. Also, if you do enjoy watching my videos bringing Need for Speed cars to life, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.